Some things we can all agree on. May it be that music can be moving, food can mend most ailments, dancing brings joy, or that when a pet dies, so does a part of our heart too. Now, I didn't plan on adding another pet to my already full load over 2 years ago. We had just had our second child, both under 3 at this point, and on top of that, a working chicken farm. I had 60 chickens and counting, a few turkeys, and I can't forget about our 2 dogs. So all of this to say, we had a very full house. Now, I adored being outside with my animals, caring for them, and sometimes even just watching them go about their day. But with animals comes responsibilities, and one of those responsibilities was what I call the winter run for straw. That's where I would go to a local farm and fill up my truck with straw, enough to keep the animals warm all winter long. So it was that day that we met Buster. But what was different about this day was I also decided to take my daughter with me. I wanted to show her the cows that would be there on that farm. So we did that, we got there, all went well. However, I was beat. I'm not sure if you realize this, but even just picking up bales of straw can be rough. And so by the time I filled my truck up, I was ready to go home and I was dreaming of a hot shower and a rest. However, the farmer had different plans. He suggested that I show my daughter his other farm down the road, which had baby cows. And I thought, you know what? What's a little bit more time? She'd love to do that. And so I was excited to take her to show her the baby cows. This is what was on my mind when our predestined paths became one with Buster's. I'm not going to lie. The weather was nasty. It was snowing. It was cold, miserable, and also muddy. I pulled my truck right out in front of the barn where the calves were so I could get my daughter out quickly and provide her a bit of shelter from the weather. We did spend some time looking at the babies, and she was amazed, just like I thought she would be. We weren't there for very long before I heard a pitiful yet insistent meowing. Looking back now, I don't know if Buster thought my truck was his previous owner that had come back for him, or if he just recognized the helper in me. But whatever it was, he was calling to us. So I followed the sound until I came upon a black shiny cat who was indeed gorgeous, but it wasn't this cat that was meowing. You see, the sad part of any country living is the number of animals that get dumped off into the wild. For some reason, their owners, whether good intentioned or not, think that the country is a place that they can thrive. I'm here to tell you that this just isn't true, and that their actions create harm on a scale both large and small. Now, although I am very passionate about this topic, I'm not going to get into this in this story, but I would be remiss if I failed to mention that this happens far too often. So when I saw this little black kitty, I wasn't surprised. They could either be the working farm cat, in which they did look healthy, or they could easily be a recent drop-off as well. In that moment, my mind wasn't on that cat. It was on the pitiful cry that soon came to show itself. Up walked a skinny, dirty, worse for the wear-looking orange cat that I knew was indeed sick. From the moment that I met Buster, one thing that would never change was his eyes. His eyes held love. Why would a cat who had been through so very much still love people? We don't deserve it. I will be the first to say, because the love of our pets is pure, and that is something that will always tear my heart into two. And although I am in the first stages of grief, I can't even go into a room without feeling the emptiness left behind by the loss of Buster. What rings true is also some anger for his previous owners. Because Buster, his story didn't start with me. It started way back, and somewhere along the way, the people that he loved and trusted abandoned him. They cast him out like he was garbage, and yet he didn't let that stop him from seeking out the treasure that he saw in us that day. Truly, Buster looked like he was on death's door. My daughter, well, she didn't let that stop her. She asked me in her toddler ways, which I understood, if we could take him, and I agreed. The only thing that might have gotten in my way was the farmer whose land we currently found ourselves on. Now please, I ask you, whether you be a reader or a listener, do not judge what comes next. You must understand that when one works with animals on any scale, death becomes almost as natural as breath. We know it's there, we know it's coming, and sometimes we ask that it be swift to bring mercy to those animals who are suffering. So I want you to know that when I asked to take Buster, the farmer was not trying to be cruel in his response, but practical. He told me that I could take him now or wait a few days to see if he was still alive. He said that Buster had been dropped off, and he was very sick indeed. The farmer didn't think he was going to make it. Nature was bound to run its course, but the only thing that was not taken into consideration that day was my will. To me, that was a challenge to bring Buster back to a life that, even if short, was one that would be filled with love. I, having a relationship with animals myself, wasn't a stranger to death, but even so, my connection runs deeper still. I have seen people I love very dearly taken too quickly by death. I have walked on the heels of death as it lingered on the fringes of this life and the next. I have even watched it carry away in real time my uncle and then another as I watched them pass away. Maybe I'm not like other people, and that's okay. But although death can be scary, it can be all of the things that we fear. It is also freeing. Death is complex. It is multifaceted. But the one thing I can say for sure is that when a living being crosses over, it is a very sacred moment. I knew that if I could do anything, I could help Buster die with dignity and to be surrounded by love. For you see, to me, love is all-encompassing. Love is all over. And I wanted that to be the environment that Buster lived in, no matter how much time he had left. So I got my daughter all buckled in, and I grabbed that dirty little guy, and we set off for a future unknown. Those first few days were not easy and very expensive. But when I look back, I don't think about the money. I think about the determination in Buster to push through, to make it. I believe he wanted to live, that he wanted to roam the countryside again, but always have a place to come back home to. So I took Buster to the vet where he got a checkup, and his prognosis was not good. The vet told me that he had something called feline leukemia, or FELV for short, and that yes, Buster was very sick indeed. On that day in that tiny vet office, surrounded by my kids, I felt alone and a whole lot of other emotions too. I didn't know what this was, and I had not ever even heard of it before. But what I have learned since then is that it can be manageable. But as the vet told me one day, it would take his life. I don't recall her words exactly, although I've tried. But they went something like this. She said Buster is at least 7 years old, but we suspect that he is way older. He's an old man, perhaps, and he has had a very long, rough life. He is sick now, but with antibiotics, he will get through this. One day, he will get something that he can't fight due to his weakened immune system because of FELV, and it is your job to give him a long, comfortable life, no matter how long that life may be. Looking back now, I didn't think I would have time so short. I mean, who does though, right? Maybe the vet didn't know that either. But those 2 years, they went by too fast. I would give anything to have more time with my little guy, but I am thankful for the time that I had. Now flash forward, we got Buster up to health, and he fit right into our family like he had always belonged. Even now, I wouldn't say that we are cat people per se, but we are Buster people forevermore. I know so many people say this about their animals, but I'm telling you, he was the best cat ever. Buster was very gentle with my children, he bonded with my dogs, and he was a protector of the house. He was a wonderful mouser, cuddler, and very vocal when he was happy. Buster taught me that beauty doesn't come in a perfect package, but sometimes it comes in the form of a scraggy, stinky old kitty who had never stopped loving. He taught me that some things can be scary, like FELV, but that knowledge truly does shine light into the darkness. And it is then that you see there was never really any monster at all. Buster taught me that losing trust in humanity leaves no hope for a better tomorrow, and that good still lives on out there in the world somewhere. He taught me that nature is a gift that we can squander, but if we stop and look, it is then that we truly see that gift before us. Lastly, he taught me that time can stretch in moments when the birds sing, in moments when they feel the purr of a gentle orange fluff ball under your fingertips, all the while trying to catch every moment like grains of sand. Time can also move too fast as well, like the many states that passed outside of our window as we relocated to the East Coast. It is those moments we made on the way that will stay with me forever. I will always remember Buster as the traveler of many realms, because of course he came with us too. I will bury him by the big rock in our yard so that he can remain a part of this land forever, and he too can watch the stars across the sky like he danced across our lives. In his final moments, I told Buster as I stared into his big, beautiful golden eyes, and time paused then too, as the medicine made its way into his tiny body. I said, I love you. I will find you again. This I know to be true. And now I'm saying, when it is my time, I'm coming for you, Buster. I will be the one calling so pitifully because I won't be the same until you answer my call. I will have love in my eyes for my sweet orange boy, and I will have trust in them too. Trust because I trust that we will be together again, where we can travel the realms as one. Now I felt compelled to share his story because it teaches us all so very many lessons. If you walk away with any lesson at all, if anything plants itself into your heart, let it be this. There are so many animals like Buster who need love and are hoping to find a home to call their own and a human to go with it. Please don't walk away from the most vulnerable among them, the ones that look worse for wear, the ones who are elderly or disabled, the ones who may have FELV or the like. If Buster could find the courage after being thrown away, the courage to ask for help when he needed it most, can you find the courage to answer this call? Thank you so much for listening to Buster's story, and I encourage you to share your own stories of grief, whether they be for a pet or a loved one, in the comments below. Remember, you are not alone during this time, and the threads of love remain with us forever and connect us to our dearly departed.